I pray to the divinity in you. Many of you have heard the word Upanishad, and many of you have studied and attended a few classes on the Upanishads. The word Upanishad comes from its root sad, to losing, to destroy, and to attain. It has three meanings, which helps an aspirant to loosen the bondage which helps one to attain liberation, final liberation, which helps one to dispel the darkness of ignorance. With two prefixes, Ni and Upanishad, to sit near the teacher who has been taught in the tradition. And what is that tradition? So far, I have not given you the long lineage of tradition. Today I am going to reveal the names of that eternal tradition. One who goes to the highest shrine of India, called Badrinath, at Joshimath, there is a point where you see two mountains. One is called Nara, another is called Narayana. The absolute representative of Brahman, and Nara, the perfect human being. They both stand like this. These are two mountains. They are called Nara and Narayana. The mountain Nara is lower in height, and mountain Narayana is higher. Now, it has been recorded by the Survey of India that they are meeting. How these two mountains are shrinking, getting together. So over 80 years, in 80 years' time, their distance has reduced near about 14 inches. All the Himalayas are shrinking, and over 80 years, they shrunk 6 inches. They are not very ancient mountains, but those two mountains are considered to be Nara and Narayana. It shows that on those mountains, Narayana, the representative of the Absolute, who knew the wisdom of the Vedas, taught his disciple Nara. There, his name was Brahma Deva. So from where flows the tradition that we come from. Brahmadeva means the lotus born one. Then comes Vasishtha. Lord Rama's Guru. It surely means that it is older than Mahabharata, and after Vasishtha is Shakti, then Parashara, Vyasa, who is author of Mahabharata, and Sukha. Up to the 7th generation, there was father and son relation, lineage. Father initiated his first son, and thus the teachings continued, carried out. But after that comes Gaudapada. Gaudapada, who wrote a commentary on the Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. Previously we talked of Mandukya Upanishad, don't get confused. This is Mandukya Upanishad, shortest of all Upanishads that comes from Atharva Veda, like Mandukya Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad. So it is written in Muktaka Upanishad that anyone studies only this Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, can attain highest reality or absolute truth without second. There is no doubt in it. In other Upanishads, there are similes used in a very mysterious way. But this Upanishad is very direct and shortest among all Upanishads, yet it is profound in its nature. It has only 12 verses. Gaudapada, who was Shankaracharya's guru's guru, grand guru, wrote a commentary on it. Actually, I wanted to speak on the Karika. It is called Karika. That's my favorite book. That book was taught by my master and other teachers in the Himalayas, and I learnt it 22 times, and yet I did not understand. But when I started practicing, then I started understanding. Let me tell you something. To hear is very good. To hear attentively is wonderful. But to understand is also better. To assimilate the knowledge that you are receiving from the scriptures is difficult unless you prepare yourself or your mind for that knowledge, which is called knowledge beyond. The knowledge of the Upanishads contains Shrutis, Shruti. By the great sages in deep contemplation and meditation. It is not a wisdom received by any mind, any human being. So such scriptures, such mantras, such words are called Shruti. Means heard in deep state of contemplation and meditation. Suppose today you try to attain that state, you cannot. You see. During ancient times, the atmosphere the human life, their living, their thinking, their austerities, penance, were entirely different. Today's human being is scattered in the external world. The current exercises or researches are external and physical oriented, which offer us comforts, means. But then, who am I to enjoy these means and comforts? I do not know. We are not taught to know and understand ourselves, yet we jump into relationship. We live with others, and we have to live. And this goes on, and this is going on. And this sort of education, which does not impart integrated knowledge, does not help us. Imagine there is a triangle that is called equilateral triangle. Life is exactly like that equilateral triangle. If one of the angles is disturbed, that equilateral triangle will be disturbed. There is no integration in our lives today, and that is why we are not perfect human beings, perfect Nara. We will get our teacher like Narayana and God Padacharya if we become a good Nara, a good human being. A good human being here means, according to the Upanishadic philosophy, it's one who has learned how to integrate mind and heart and body. Healthy mind, healthy body, a sound mind, and a good heart. You see, it's not only intellectual gymnasium that will help us. It is not only emotionally prevalent heart that will help us. It's not only physical muscles which are going to help us, make us a healthy human being. We need to understand that integration, body, mind and heart together. See? When we try to analyze something intellectually, we discard our emotions aside. We do not understand anything about them. So often we say, we brand that our emotions are like, make us blind. That's not true. Emotion is a great power. If we know and understand how to direct that power, that can lead us to a height of ecstasy in moments' time. You cannot depend on the intellect because it gathers the data from the external world, which is subject to change, death and decay. So that's something which goes to change, death and decay, which changes its form all the time. That particular data is being gathered by that mind, by that intellect, which is never purified, which has no support of the disciplined, faculties of mind. Therefore, our data collection does not help us, does not lead us. Madhava, one of the great philosophers of 700 centuries, AD rather to say, says that the commentary on the Upanishads, on Mandukya Upanishad, is taught by Narayana directly, the firstborn directly, to Varuna and the frog. Mandukya word in Sanskrit means frog. And through frog, these teachings have come. Garud Purana, Harivans Purana, these Puranas explain this. But there is no evidence like that. Ramanuja also wrote a commentary on this Upanishad. Shankaras, whom we call Shankaracharya, short form Shankara, is considered to be greatest of all commentators and the youngest one, Avatara, whose commentary is considered to be very valid. His grand guru, Gaudapada Acharya, wrote a commentary called Karika. Very soon you will be getting a book on the commentary called Karika. That book is though terse, but very interesting. Karika, commentary on this Upanishad. It's more than 200 verses on 12 verses. And then Shankara, his disciple's disciple, wrote another commentary on that. It becomes voluminous. It took me 91 days in India to explain Karikas. That's why I did not touch that part. I don't want to deprive you, so I have started writing essays on the Karika, and before March or April it will be in your hand. There is unique combination in this book, where you will find psychology, where you will find profound philosophy, where you can understand and see how these three states of mind, three states of consciousness are understood thoroughly. What is actually this waking state of mind? When we remain awake, our senses function. The moment we become awake, our mind employs the senses, and senses contact the world, objects of the world, and thus we perceive things from the external world. Waking state. What is this waking state? Is it a reality? According to this Upanishad, no, it's like a dream. Then when you go to sleep, before you go to deep sleep, when there is no content in your mind, then you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, you go through a state that is called dreaming state. How that dreaming reality is exactly very close to this waking reality. Both are not true. Both are illusions, according to this book and according to the commentators. The way you perceive this world or worldly objects, they are not like that. Suppose you become a king or president of a country, but when you dream that you have become a donkey. And for 2 hours you remain donkey, though you are a president. Now, you are not a president, you are a simple, normal human being, but in your dream you become president for 3-4 hours, as long as you are dreaming. How dreaming reality and waking reality are compared, we will explain this time. What is deep sleep actually? Why do you go to deep sleep? Why do you need sleep? How sleep helps you? How sleep is so close to death? Why are you terrified with the death? By hearing the word death. What happens to you when you die? Is your personality, is your being completely annihilated? Or do you live even after death? Are you reborn? Is there any logic in it? Are there some logical proof to furnish that when human being departs from this world, he still lives? Then comes another state which is called state of Turiya. The highest state that can be attained. It's beyond Samadhi. Samadhi is a state of mind. Turiya is a state of consciousness. You see. So when you see that how that center of consciousness gradually goes through evolution, we simply have to understand the way we have come to the world, to the state, we can go back with the same process to the center of consciousness. Question comes, what good is that? What will happen to us? Well, we'll be transformed, we'll be attaining the goal of life, and this is human aspiration that we all human beings want to attain perfection, and that perfection will come when we will go back to the source of consciousness, to the source of wisdom, to the source of eternal. And that's what we all want. And we want it in this lifetime. We don't want to postpone it for next life. We have not to postpone it. Most of us think that enlightenment or meeting God or becoming perfect or attaining samadhi is very difficult. That cannot be, that's not true. Meeting yourself, is it difficult to meet yourself? Do you need anyone's help to meet yourself? Do you need anyone's support to meet yourself? Do you have to lean on someone to meet yourself? First of all, you will understand, you should understand yourself on 3 levels. The perishable self, which is considered to be and which is called and termed as mere self, body and senses. Then semi-immortal self, your unconscious mind, which is a vehicle for the merits and demerits to go with you when you drop this body. And pranas. When pranas and body are departed, then that remains behind your vehicle, which is called unconscious mind. And you become an individual because you are enjoying a vehicle, you are driving a vehicle, you are owning a vehicle. That's why you are called individual. If you drop that vehicle, which is called individual vehicle, that makes you individual, if you break these walls, then this will be no hall. This will be all one horizon. This superimposition that we have a hall separates this space within this hall from the space outside. The moment we drop that vehicle, which is called unconscious mind, where lay many sorts of desires, aspirations, and those desires again lead them to this world, because you have a desire to fulfill. And for fulfilling that desire, you come back again. I am not confusing you, or I am not telling you to believe in reincarnation. But there is no other way. You cannot accomplish entire life's work, so much work, so much in such a short time. Not possible. Now let us argue for some time. Suppose we are born because of the grace of God, as all our religions believe, Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, Sufis, Islam. Because God's grace that you have become a human being. Logic does not fit in. If because of God you are born, why are you unhappy and why someone is happy? Why someone is lame by birth, someone is retarded by birth, someone is blind by birth, why others are not? It means there is no equality in grace of God. But that's not true. There is equality in grace of God. There is equality in love. So there is something that we are not understanding, and that is called law of karma. It's the law of karma that leads you to do something, to accomplish, to reap the fruits, and again those fruits motivate you to do more fruits. It becomes a whirlpool and you cannot come out of it. The way karma creates a bondage for us, then our mind also creates bondage for us. Our individual soul also creates bondage because of attachment. This way we are caught in a snare of bondages, and we want to be free from all these bondages. For freedom is one thing that we need. Freedom will give us happiness. If we are not free, we can never be happy. So when we say it's God's creation, whatever God has made us, the way we are, this is not enough. Why God, the Lord of equality, should have such a discrimination? Then we are at the mercy of God. Then what is this good meditation, doing good things or bad things? You cannot do then anything, because it's all God's of grace, whatever you do. You cannot change, you cannot improve. So right philosophy says, no, a human being is unfinished being. And he has opportunity to complete himself or herself. And he can attain the wisdom in this lifetime if rightly practiced and understood. We are not here to discuss religions, which religion is good and which is bad. All the religions are one and the same. we are here to understand the profound teachings of Mandukya Upanishad, which lead you to understand, analyze, and then finally realize the highest peak of life, summit of life, and that is called Turiya. Easiest way, according to Vedanta, shortest cut, is called shortest of all cuts. But among all the shortcuts, cut your ego and you are there. Shortest cut is to just cut your ego and you are there. You see. And it's difficult to cut your ego. When you like to cut your ego, when you want to expand the horizon of your mind, you will find afraid, fears of seeing that your personality is being dissolved, you see. When a drop of water meets the ocean, it does not lose its identity. It becomes the ocean. A time comes, a plateau comes, when meditator or contemplator thinks that my individuality is being threatened, because he is always insecure, because he does not know what is happening, what is going to happen in future. This Upanishad helps you to understand the conditionings of your mind, prime conditionings of your mind, which are mostly three: time, space, and causation. You see. What is time? How time controls our mind? What is that space? What is causation? Once we understand this, then we can free our mind from this. Let me tell you something. No matter how much you concentrate your mind, how much you meditate and contemplate, it's not going to help if you have not understood time, space, and causation, which creates conditioning to your mind. If your mind is conditioned, no matter how you deal it, it is a conditioned mind. That's why knowledge seems to be important. If you do not have knowledge what to do, perhaps you will be doing something which will be not useful. My way is this way, towards sun. I am looking at the sun and I am also walking. You see. Will I ever reach there? I am facing the sun but walking backwards. Therefore, we have to understand the conditionings of our mind. And without profound knowledge, the conditionings cannot be known. And without knowing the conditionings, we can have concentrated mind, but we cannot have mental freedom. Therefore, conditioning of mind is very important. I will give you one example. What is this? These are two. Now, this is a space. The two has created a space. Now, there is no space. There will be no time. There will be no condition. So you can become free when you have profound knowledge of Advaita, one absolute without second. You cannot be free. You can make your mind one-pointed inward, but you cannot get freedom from the conditionings of your mind. So prime conditionings of your mind should be understood, systematically dealt with, and such a mind has power to penetrate into deeper folds of your being. It's a systematic journey which goes from gross to subtle, to the subtler and then the subtlemost aspect of your life. Very interesting journey. I don't know why people say that it's difficult. I think logically it should be very easy. You have chance to be lost in the external world. You can never be lost within yourself. It's difficult to find anything in the external world because there are many disturbances. It's very easy to find within because there are less disturbances. From where the disturbances got into our system? From external world. When we learn to understand our relationship with the external world, or this waking reality, and learn to deal with it, we will never allow this waking reality and its distractions to create a groove in our minds and hearts. Once we understand that path of the self is simple, easy, natural, and that's our birthright, then our desires start flowing within instead of to the external world. Can we live by living within only? No. We have to learn to create a bridge between within and without. Outside world gives us means. Superficial of ourselves wants comforts. So those means satisfy and help that part of life which needs comfort. When I will explain 8 types of meditation in this seminar. One type of meditation is called Sparsha Yoga, yoga of touch. How do you feel pain and pleasure? If 10 people are kept in one situation, why one person or 2 persons or 3 persons are having pain and pleasure, why not all others? When the senses touch the objects of the world, then they have sensation which is called pain and pleasure. If we know the art of not allowing our senses to touch the objects of the world, matra sparsastu kaunteya sitosna sukha dukkhada. Matter should not be touched by our senses. The moment our senses touch the matter, from there we receive 2 stimulations. One is called pain, another is called pleasure. We will systematically explain 8 methods of meditation. And all methods are valid. When you study Upanishads, revelations they are called. As you have book of Revelation, and those who have studied that book of Revelation, they will find there is similar book of Revelation in Judaism. There are 2 books of Revelations in Judaism. They are very similar. And for being chosen for such a great work, you don't have to be a disciple. If you have studied book of Revelation, John, to whom the revelations, John, was not a disciple, not among 12 apostles. Why was he chosen to have revelations? Why not the disciples, those who lived with Christ for many, many years, close to him? It means any human being is capable of attaining that state, that status where he can receive revelations. Revelation is that knowledge which flows from the library of eternal. That knowledge does not come through senses, does not come through mind. That knowledge comes through vision. And those visions are based on the knowledge which is self-evident, which does not need support, which does not need an evidence. Then when you will sit, suppose you receive a hunch, and you expect that such similar hunch is received by you next day, but you don't. Then you wonder, yesterday I received a hunch and that came true and it's true, but today I am not receiving that. What's the matter? During that moment, perhaps your mind was calm, perhaps you were in a state of tranquility, prepared to receive that knowledge which is already in the infinite library within you. Today, you are not in that situation. But if you systematically practice, you can receive every day that knowledge which does not flow through mind, but flows through vision. There is a method of meditation to do that. Well, there is only one thing that I cannot do for you, and that's called meditation. You will have to do meditation for yourself. I can cook for you. I can wash your bottoms. I can wash your diapers. I can clean your room. I can make your laundry. But I cannot meditate for you. You will have to meditate for yourself, as Buddha said. He light thy own lamp. Nobody will give you salvation. You are an individual. You do your individual karmas. You have your individual mind. You have individual thinking. You have individual emotions. You know yourself better and you can know yourself better. You have to establish a state of equilibrium, tranquility, which gives you peace. Peace is a relative term. In the world, if you say there is peace, peace means there is no war. A gap between two wars is called peace in the world. But that's not what we want, you see. That's not what we want. We want a peace, tranquility, which lasts forever, as long as we live. You see. Which part of ourselves needs peace? Our body needs rest, not peace. Our senses do not need peace. There is one verse explained in Upanishads. Listen to me this. Yada panchavatisthante jnanani manasa saha buddhischana vichestati tamahu paramam gati. When my five senses are not distracted, my mind is calm, During that time, I am in a state of tranquility. So when your senses are not distracted, not dissipated, when your mind is tranquil, during that time you attain a state that is called a state of samadhi. Samadhi is that state where there is no question in your mind. Is it possible for you or your mind to attain that state where there is no questions? Not possible. But there is a way. If you forget the languages in which your mind speaks all the time, gathers, if you know the unlearning method, which is not taught in any of the schools, then you can attain that state. That is possible to be proved scientifically. You have a glass of water. You are asked to empty it. You have emptied the glass. Still that empty glass is not empty, because there is air in it. How will you empty it? By filling it. So is the case with the mind. First you will have to clean the gross aspects of your mind, and then you will have to fill something in your mind and wash off that which is called ancient dirt in our minds. That's why the japa, meditation, prayers, all these methods are applied. Let me tell you that this scripture has nothing to do with any religion. Nowhere any religion, any religious faith is accepted or condemned. It explains 4 states. First state is waking state. What happens to us when we remain awake? Our education actually teaches us how to cultivate this waking state. Our education does not teach us how to dream. That portion of mind which dreams is not cultivated by us, is not under our control, conscious control. So look at the shallowness of this education that we receive, and the way we know how to study. We bank so much on these dark words, they can never give us light. Not possible, because darkness is not product of light. And whole life we spend on these darkness, dark words. Read them, what others say. We become opinionated. We know how to form the opinion based on the opinions of others. But that is not profound knowledge. Because dreaming portion of mind, sleeping portion of mind is not under our control. That which is cultivated by us is waking state of mind. Our entire educational system helps us in utilizing that portion of mind which functions during waking state. In whole Om, A-U-M, this whole universe is Om, according to this Upanishad. The first is A, U, A, it means A. Our education is trying to grab that part of mind which functions during waking state, which is conditioned by past, present and future, which does not know what now is, which does not know what now means, how to attain now, how to be in now, how to live in now. We can spell the word now, we do not know what it is. So dreaming state, sleeping states, the portion of mind used in dreaming state, sleeping state, is not known to us. These states of consciousness are also not known to us. So we know very little about ourselves. We like to hurt others because we are brute. We do not know ourselves. That's why we do not understand that there is only one truth everywhere. Then you will consciously not hurt others, not harm, injure others, not kill others. In this Upanishad, A represents waking state, U dreaming states, M sleeping state. But there is a silent state which is called Turiya, the fourth state. It's like the top of the mountain from where you can see up, here, there, down and everywhere. From where you can see what is dreaming like, where you allow dreams to come. You will see how dreams are being formulated. What you call dream, how such dreams are formulated. Very interesting. You can watch your dreaming states. You can even watch your sleeping state and yet remain fully awake. You are in deep sleep, yet you can remain fully awake. That way, if you are able to do it consciously, it is called sleepless sleep. It can be done if you learn Yoga Nidra, not the way it is mentioned. You can learn to understand all the states in a profound way, without any mistakes. Immediately you will come to this suggestion, question, am I capable of doing this? Of course. Have I got instrumentation for doing this? Of course. Always say, I am such a bad person. I am this. Nobody is bad and nobody is good. You see, you are a human being. You have all the instruments. You are capable. You are able, provided you know how to use your resources, how to use your potentials within. It depends how. Do you want to? Do you want to know all about yourself? So far, whatever you have known from others. While the Upanishad says, have direct knowledge. But what do? You are that you are because your fathers, your mother, your friends, your relatives, your society, your schools, your colleges say. Your husband, your wife, they say. Husband says you are good, you enjoy that. If someone says you are bad, you feel sad. What a philosophy do you have? This way, world will not allow you to live. Someone says you are very good, you are tempered with that pride. Someone says you are bad, you just collapse. Never forget the great teachings of Buddha in a practical life. If you really want to survive tough, want to enjoy life, learn this. Once Buddha, in his usual routine, went with his disciple Ananda to beg the alms. During those days, in that small city of Rajgrihi, which exists even today, all the householders were disturbed because there were many swamis, renunciates all over, and there were only few householders. One after another they used to come, for begging alms, and it was difficult to maintain such a huge crowd for such a small village. So Buddha came at the door with his disciple Ananda and said, Bhavati Viksham, they give me something to eat, mother. The lady was very much disturbed. There was very little cooked. And one after another, these swamis came, and she got disturbed. She said, from morning till evening I have been giving, alms to these useless fellows, burden to the society, burden to the nation, burden to themselves. And they are pouring in, they are coming and going without any consideration. They should have consideration for us. The child's filth, she picked up and she said, here it is. Buddha smiled, withdrew his bow. Was not disturbed. Who was disturbed? Ananda, his disciple. Why? Because he could not tolerate this insult to his Lord Buddha, enlightened one. He said, woman, I will kill you. And Buddha said, don't say like that. Anand, if someone wants to give you something, please don't take it if you don't like it. If someone says you are a bad person, why do you accept it? Because you are weak. You are in habit of accepting anything anybody gives you. You are a beggar. I want you to be a lord. I don't want you to be a beggar. You are a follower of a lord. You are a disciple of a Lord Buddha. You are not disciple of a beggar. So don't accept what others say. Then how will you know about yourself? You should know about yourself by your own self. Learn to understand that. Have you seen the misery in the homes today? If a man is under the pressure of economical pressure he has and comes home, you see, and doesn't talk nicely to his wife, and wife says, am I a piece of furniture in your house? You behaving like this? And there is a clash. Why such things happen? All the time there is clash between the two. Why people have not learned the technique of living in harmony? What is the matter? Because we have learned that's something which we should not actually learn. To take anything, to accept anything others say. Oh, you are great, so you are very happy. You know you are not great. You know it. You very well know, and your heart knows. What is this? Hypocrisy. People are praising you for nothing and you are being happy. That happiness does not last for a long time because it is forced by others. And you are very bad, you see. Why should you? So Buddha said, sit down, Anand, I am going to tell you. He took him to the peak of vultures, that's called Giddaki Choti. He took him there. He said, sit down here. I am going to tell you the secret of life. The secret of life is, if somebody wants to give you something, if you don't want, don't accept it. Accept only that you want. Your want should be followed by the desire to attain your goal. That should be. Otherwise, want and need are two different things. You need something, but you want something different. You are not satisfied with your needs. Let you be not tossed by the wants. Let you understand the importance of need. Don't be tossed by your wants. Let your night be not laden by your wants. Let your day be not laden by your desires. So one thing he taught his disciple: don't take what you don't need. Take only that which is helpful for you on your path. Second thing he said: sit down quietly. If somebody says you are great, does it affect you? It should not. If somebody says you are very bad person, does it affect you? Why these days these grihasthas, householders, are disturbed? They hurt each other in the name of love. The husband says, you are not a good woman. All the time negative. And the wife says, you are not a good man. All the time negative. And look at the education. What do you teach your children? Show me your copy. No. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. No teacher ever tells you what is good. If you commit less mistakes, you get more marks. If you commit more mistakes, you get less marks. That is the criteria. This way you create complexes, which is not healthy for your internal growth. Then you are dealing with the external world. There is something more you have to deal with. You can be obstinate bull and say, whatever people say is not good, I don't care. You can do that. But that is also not healthy. After that, second phase comes to sit down. What is bad? Is it bad for me? You can always say, if it is bad for me, definitely the same thing is bad for others. You are the judge. Within you, there is something which is not mind, which is not intellect, which is not buddhi, which is not anything. That is called conscience. Conscience within you. Your conscience tells you. Conscience means your whole being immediately tells you. Sometimes even your being tells you, yet you continue doing that. It means you lack practice. You start practicing. But in no way you allow any complex within which hurts, which cripples your internal strength and creates barrier in the path. Let you all determine that you will complete the journey in this lifetime. As you have a schedule for the world, I will earn this much, I will work for these years in the external world. Do you have any spiritual schedule? No. Why? You should have. Why do you want to work in the external world? For the happiness. Where is that happiness? It's within. So you should have a schedule. It's not difficult. That's what the sages say. They give us hope that they attained something in their life. They were born here on the earth, they walked on the earth, they attained on the earth. And let me assure you, it's a myth that you say you have to renounce your home, duties to attain God. It's not necessary to do that. If you can make your schedule, then that's not difficult. In these 7 days' time, there is one method of meditation which I will describe from this Upanishad, which helps you to understand and know what is going to happen with you in 6 months' time about future. How future can be brought to now. At present, your now is not now, it is your past. Your mind always goes to the grooves of past or sometimes fathom to the future imagination. If you learn how to keep your mind here and now, well, the future can be called into now. Because during that capacity, during that time, mental capacity, mental horizon expands. That is possible. It's my duty to impart all the methods truthfully, the way that has been taught to me. How much is beneficial for you, helpful for you? It depends. One thing I can tell you, this is a truthful confession, that anything that you have done in this lifetime, tell me, what do you do after that? Don't you get tired? You go to sleep. You always say, honey, let me sleep. Let me take rest. It means sleep, you wait to take rest. After enjoying all the joys, finally what do? You go to rest. And when you wake up, you find that you are not rested. So every day you are fatigued and you wait to go to bed, and that bed or that sleep does not refresh you. So Swami Rama says there is another thing that is called sleepless sleep. If you learn to meditate, that will give you better joy. Sleep you will get every day, but that joy you will get highest. Highest of all joy can be attained through meditation only. I am telling you this. Nothing can give you joy. That meditation should not be colored with cultural values, with religious touches, Hindu meditation, Christian meditation, Buddhist meditation. No need of doing that. Meditation is meditation. It's a method of going to the center of consciousness from where consciousness flows on various degrees and grades. How to make body still so that during that time your muscles take complete rest. How to breathe well in a harmonious way so that body and breath coordinates perfectly and your nervous system, you see, gets perfect rest. How to lead your mind to a state of equilibrium even for a few minutes, for some time, so that your brain and thinking process remains at rest. This way you can lead healthy life in a comprehensive way, holistically. That's my point. We'll explain all this. Today I gave you little bit introduction of the Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, shortest of all, most revered, profound Upanishad, with 12 verses, and we have to know 4 states, the waking, dreaming, sleeping, and turiya. So from tomorrow, we will start practical lessons. Right from here, what is waking state? Why in dreaming state all things change? What is the difference between dreaming and waking state? As you say, this is true. During dreaming state is also true as long as it lasts. When you are in deep sleep, nothing is true. But if you go to Turiya, Turiya alone will be truth. So I pray to the divinity in you, and God bless you.